Hello everybody, how are you, and welcome to my channel. Good morning from wherever you are, good afternoon, good evening, and I hope you're preparing for a good night wherever it is that you are. My name is Josephine. Welcome to my channel. My channel is about my ordinary but different kind of life. I'm not promising that it's going to have a lot of exciting things because it's about my daily life, my travels, my goings on, the stuff I do around home and when I'm at work, in as much as is possible. And sometimes, of course, extraordinary things happen around my life or in my life, and I'd like you to work with me for that. I thank you very much for those of you who are my subscribers. I see the numbers are growing day by day. We are now at 86 subscribers. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you very much. I appreciate. But I see that every day I'm getting about 98% of the viewers, a very high percentage of the people watching my videos are new viewers, and I appreciate it very much. So I welcome you to the video of today. Today is Sunday and I'm at home. I'm feeling very tired, very lethargic. I think it's showing in my eyes. And then the weather is very downcast and it has been a bit cool in the morning. So welcome and please enjoy the show. So I might come out later on in the day, but it's all going to be dependent on how I feel, because I woke up feeling very, very, very tired. I think when I came in yesterday, I arrived around 7. I had a shower. I wasn't hungry. Then I had a short nap. I rested a bit, and then I had to do editing for the video that I posted last, and then editing for that, and then to post it online, which by the time I complete, like I told you before in one of my previous videos, by the time I'm completing editing and then from CapCut and then downloading from CapCut, I mean exporting from CapCut and then uploading again onto YouTube, depending on the length of the video and how much additional features it has, it can take anything, it can take several hours. And so yesterday, I think by way past midnight, I think it must have been 2 a.m. That's when I think I was completing. But the goodness is that I did go to sleep, because sometimes I just leave the video uploading onto YouTube. Uploading onto YouTube is not a very big problem. The biggest problem is usually exporting from CapCut, because you have to wait. But uploading onto YouTube, what I'll normally do is that if I'm asleep and I'm very tired, I'll let it upload onto YouTube. And then when I wake up, the goodness is that because it has already downloaded the whole video, is it uploaded? Yeah. Downloaded the whole video onto YouTube. It's going to hold and wait for me to now give instructions. What title am I going to have? Do I want to add tags? Do I want to give a description? Do I want to say whether there's going to be a remixing or not? That kind of instruction, which is not a lot. And a lot of the times I've already pre-written my description of the video. I already have the title. I already have the photo, the picture that I'm going to use, the thumbnail. Yeah, that's what I was trying to remember. I already have the thumbnail prepared, and the only thing remaining is now to input all that. Do you want remixes? Do you want this? To give that further few instructables about the video. So, and I prefer to do it at night when I'm not doing anything else, and when I have in the day when I'm very busy doing something. Unless I don't have a busy day, it's very hard to do exporting of the video from CapCut and then uploading onto YouTube. I must have really good time on my hands if I want to do that. But when I'm busy, then I can't do that. So I just leave that for at night, so that the editing and corrections and additions and everything else is done during the day. But remember, like I told you, that I realized one of the biggest challenges I was having videos with very, very, very many clips. And then I have to edit this clip and change the sound on this, and then they do the next one. But I've changed all that now. What I do is that I have fewer long videos, and then editing that is very much easier. And I think I'm also getting better. It's part of the growth process of working with YouTube as a content creator. I'm learning more and more how to make less mistakes, how to be focused about what it is I'm going to talk about. And you know, before it was just a random thing and I'll just shoot where I am. So yeah, I'm improving on the creation of the content and the timings and the reduction of mistakes, the accuracy of sound, because that's another thing that plays. Sometimes I'll be in the wind, although I'm now starting to learn which parts of the estate of my region, where when I am at those places, shooting in those places, the sound comes up with a lot of noise in the background. Yes, of course, CapCut does allow where you can remove the background noise or you can buff it. But I prefer as much as possible to have the natural voice of the raw cut video that I'm using, so that I'm only increasing the volume or decreasing the volume, but using this right one. And of course, CapCut assists, like in this instance, when planes are passing, and this is something that happens a lot here. I mean, we have the flight path over Ruai, so planes are passing a lot of time. This is something that we are so used to here, even when we are in church. You know, sometimes it will be, and I'm lucky we are further down the hill, away from the airport. So by the time they get to where I live, they are at a higher altitude. Our parish head church is nearer to the airport, and also it's at a place where the planes have not yet gotten to a very high altitude, and that makes it such a problem when you're having mass, because I mean the drone of the planes is oh yeah, it's something else. But we've learned how to live with it. So welcome to my channel, welcome to today. As I've said, I think I might go out later, and also it's Sunday. I like to go out Sunday, take a walk, see people. Remember what I told you, I mean, even if I'm not getting visited, I don't think I'm going to keep on with that standoff. I don't get visited, so I'll not visit people. No. It's just good to go check up on people, even if briefly, but take that opportunity also to take a walk for my health and for my weight loss gain. Today I had breakfast. I just had a very simple breakfast. I had tea and bread, and then I had a glass of juice later, and I'm going to have a fruit. I found some very juicy fruits at my friend's place. Yesterday when I came, I had a whole cucumber. I got some really big cucumber at my friend's place again, the one who has the stall that has opened the stage near the bus stop. So I had a full cucumber. That was so healthy. I felt so nice. I mean, I wish I could get more of that more often. And then I ate a little bit of starch and vegetable, a simple fried meal. And more it's getting easier for when I haven't had a heavy meal at night, or I don't have very many heavy meals during the day, to cope, not to stay so hungry, because I had a very hearty meal at my auntie's place where we were meeting for Chama. I ate into my seconds and my thirds. So yeah, so I was quite well settled in the stomach, and I appreciate it. But I'm very glad for the weight loss. Even something like this dress, you know, it's a very favorite dress of mine that I was given by one of my relatives, an aunt of mine, and it had started getting so tight. The buttons on my busts would not pop open. So I'm so glad that I can wear it again. For us women, you know, we just pop into things and pop out of things. It's something that occurs happily, and Africans, we like to say that when a woman is getting bigger, you know, that's a sign that things are good. So things have been very good for me. I cannot complain. I can say that I've been having things very well, but I want them to keep on being well, but when I'm at a slightly smaller size. So I'm going to go in now and just take a rest, have a relaxation, probably see, I have there's one video I hadn't edited because my CapCut subscription was due and I didn't have money. But I know I'm going to sort this. It is just for a while, just a little patience, and then all this will get sorted. And I must focus on where I'm headed, on the goal. I can't keep on looking behind, and I can't keep on thinking about the stumbling blocks that are forever going to be there. I must focus on my goal, where I'm going. I want the channel to grow. I want it to go ahead. So when I encounter some problems, I know how to deal with them. Now what happens is that I had my CapCut subscription and it was paid for. It was paid for, and the due date was coming, and I think I just missed to remember that the due date was upon me. And so I did this video and I edited using the not using standard features, using the additional features that you get when you've paid for CapCut. And I did all of them, but by the time I was uploading, the subscription was off. It was over. It was the subscription had ended. The subscription payment had ended. And so when I went to export it, you know, you get that alert that you always get in sites that you subscribed. Your subscription, please renew your subscription to be able to use these features. And I was like, oh gosh. And then CapCut is very odd because you're not able to directly know, unless it's just letters you had written, captions you had written, where you had either made a reduction of sound, buffing of sound, you had put some, there are some features that are very subtle, so unless you go to that clip, you'll not know which clip you did what. You have to go clip by clip by clip, and very unfortunately, one of those videos happens to have a few, it has a section that has very many small clips. Nevertheless, I'm going to work on it and do it. The subscription is going to wait for just a little bit before it resumes. I'm still going to be posting that because I've told myself, I've given myself a challenge to post 3 times a week, in as much as possible, a minimum of 3 times a week. If I can do it daily, no problem. But like I said, it does not, I don't want it to get to a level where I'm so intent on posting a video daily that I'm just throwing out to you whatever I can, I mean, for the heck of it. And it's something that I watch very continuously with my fellow content creators, and I see them doing that so much that sometimes, you know, they'll get on a video, they'll give it a very good title, and you'll watch the video, maybe it's like 30-25 minutes long, and you'll watch the video all the way up to the 7th minute, and sometimes you'll zoom to see what's the rest of what is in that video, and then there's nothing. You know, it's there's nothing. This person had promised something, you get to the end of it, it's not there. Or if it's there, they're just going to show up a few seconds clip of it, and you're like, why did you title like this? So you tell me in the comments, do I title my videos aptly? Do I title them correctly, or do I mislead you? Because that's something that I'd hate to be doing so much, because you, my viewers, matter so much, and if I tell you this video is about something, it better be about that. I don't want at all to fall into the trap of pushing out videos for the sake of just bringing in viewers, attracting viewers, and they get here and they're like, What were we rushing for? It was just a fancy title with a fancy thumbnail, but we've gotten here and there's nothing. No, that's a scam, and I don't want to be a scammer on my channel. I told you I want to be authentic, and I want to bring you reality in as factual a manner as it is. I want it to be entertaining, I want it to be educative, I want it to be informative, and in every aspect of it, I want it to be in the best and truest form, and realist, I can say most truthful form of it that I can. So again, welcome. Thank you very much for subscribing. Thank you very much for watching. Remember to subscribe to support, like to support, share if you wish to support, leave a comment, tell us where you're watching from. I appreciate. So let me go in, do one or two things, and then if I'm coming out, I'll walk with you, or if there's something else that I'm doing that's worth your viewing, then I'll let you join me. So I have decided to come out. I think because I had breakfast, I'll just have dinner later on. I'm not hungry, and even though I didn't have brunch, the breakfast I had was sufficient. I'll tell you where I'm going when I get there. I'll probably shoot a video here. That's a public space. That's a place I'd be proud to show you. So I'm going to the stage. I take a matatu into Ruai, our small main center, and then from there I'll just walk across through a shortcut which is behind our main police station, and then to get to where I'm going. And when I get there, I'll make sure that you come along with me and see where it is I'm going. So see you in a bit. Listen to that matatu. Yeah, I wanted you to hear some of the crazy sounds that public service vehicles make on our roads. That's usually our morning alarm. When you hear it, I can hear it from all the way from my place. So this is the ordinary for Sunday. Spaces are rented out by churches. That blue one there, that's a church. I can hear somebody preaching inside. I've just bypassed one. You just find little spots which have been rented out for use only on Sundays as small, especially Protestant churches. Yeah. So I'm still going I'm still headed where I'm going. You see, we have many masts, and this is at a very high point. This is near Utawala, at the top of the hill where I was telling you the sound of the planes is much louder because they are at a higher altitude and they are much nearer to the airport. So for them it's much more, so for them it's okay, that's the second church. I didn't want to show them as if I was taking them. I hope I've not captured them. This is the fourth one that they're actually Pentecostal, yeah. This is the fourth one, the white tent that I'm coming to. The donkeys are what we use for ferrying water here. If it's people who buy for the whole week, you can take the whole cartload. If it's people who are taking in bits, they'll just take a bit from that. So let me stop filming where there are people, and I'll talk a bit ahead. This is the upper part of Ruai, near the main shopping center. And from sources, reliable sources, what I've heard is that it is rumored that initially the plan of Embakasi ranching was that people would take these plots, and where I live, the ones that are nearer the town centers, to be plots for residential to be residential plots for commercial purpose and for them for staying. And then the ones that are further away, going towards the border with Machakos, because the initial allocation was, I think, half an acre per person, and then the others, the ones that are further off, would be used for farming and other activities. But over time, again, these are rumors, and it is what has been repeated and is passed down from generation to generation as an explainer as to why Embakasi ranching has been so embattled in corruption and allegations and missing plots and theft of plots and, you know, swapping of plots and illegal title deeds and fake title deeds, that apparently now, when at one point when the ownership decided, let us reduce everybody's plots from half an acre per person to a quarter acre per person, so that you'd have an eighth within the confines of the nearer areas to the city centers, and then the ones that are further on. That time the road was not developed, so they were deemed to be further away. There wasn't much development in the areas away from Nairobi. Then the other eighth would be in the outer areas, and that of course meant duplication of maps, changing of lot numbers, interchanging and subdividing. I mean, it just created a mess. And the way I understood it from one reliable source who I met while we were following up the title deeds of our land, is that in subsequent years, this was again done 1 or 2 times. And in the melee that followed, in the chaos that erupted after that, some unscrupulous individuals grabbed lots that seemed to somehow get lost because it created such a mess in the Ministry of Lands. And it's only, oops, this is the whole, oh my goodness, this is what happens. Oh, God have mercy. This is a donkey. Yeah, that's a donkey. Oh gosh. Oh, that's a donkey. I don't know whether it was killed for the meat or it died and then they had to butcher it and leave there. Oh, they've not even done a good job incinerating it. It's going to cause a real menace. Where was I? Yes, so over the years, when that happened repeatedly, there wasn't an easy solution. So what remained is that the people who had original documents, who had bought the land originally from Embakasi ranching the correct way, they did end up with a quarter of their original pieces of land. And you know, over the years, because the wrangles took so long, people delayed to process and there wasn't proper management. So every year there was a change, every year there was a mess. So there was a delay in sorting out the issues of the lands. And so some people lost documents. And when eventually the processing of the documents did begin to happen through government intervention, what happened is that people came and found that, again, even when we had legitimate documents, some pieces of land had been sold off to newcomers. And I think we got lucky on the whole as a family. A lot of the original plots that were bought, we recovered. I say a lot because it was not all. Some fell into this kind of malpractice and eventual loss. And we did lose some property. Some is still being followed up. But I mean, only God knows whether those pieces of land will ever be recovered. Because the thing that happens is that when you now go to do processing of your paperwork, the substantial amounts of money that are requested upon you, and then the process, though it's straightforward, it has so many glitches. And so you might end up taking months, or yet you have all the documents, but you know, every time you're told, no, this one has to be like this one has to be like this. And that issue of you have to know somebody keeps on cropping up over and over again. But I must say, on the whole, having done a follow-up myself for a few pieces of land belonging to the family, the system has been very well processed. It's difficult, yes, because again, acquiring extra money when a lot of these lands are inherited, and with the country's economy right now, is a problem. But and people settle down to the fact that the bird in the hand is worth two in the bush. So whatever you get, even if it's not what was originally allocated, what the grandparents, what the original buyers of the lands, the allocation they had stated that they were, then it's, once you get something at least to live on, to invest in, to create a home at, you get satisfied. Yeah, and so this part mainly, this has the ground here is very hard, is very much rocky, so people don't do a lot of farming. If there's any farming, it's subsistent and very little. But where I live, there's a lot of farming done. People are more of into agriculture, even if it's subsistent. A lot of it is also commercial. And also fewer people have settled there. Here, I think, because it was near a town, a lot of people saw this as a very great opportunity to come and put up commercial entities, buildings for rent and all that. So it is much more inhabited and crowded than our places. And for those of you who are Catholics, of course, you know the place where I'm going is to the parish office. And those of you who are newcomers, I'm headed to our parish, head to our parish main church, which is St. Peter's of Ruai, and I'm about to get there. So let's go. This is the shortcut I'm going to use when I'm going home. And that one goes straight ahead to Utawala, far in the distance. Yeah. Okay. So welcome to St. Peter's Catholic Church, Ruai. This is, we've gone on assessing grounds in bits and pieces, buying different plots at a go, and that over there is the main church. That's where I'm going to. So I finished what I was doing, and I'm outside our main parish church. That is the one, St. Peter's Catholic Parish, Ruai. You're all welcome if you're Catholic. Even if you're Catholic, you're not Catholic and you're around and you wish to pray on a Sunday, or if it's on a regular day and you'd like to come and visit the church, you're welcome. That's our main parish church. I finished what I was doing, and I'll just give you a small view of it from when I'm facing the camera that way. Karibuni. Saseni, usijali, nafanya YouTube, natangaza pia chachi yetu. So as I come from church, I've picked a vantage point for you to see. I'm at a higher point of Ruai, and I'm looking below to lower vantage points. My house is to the far right I cannot see it from here, but we are going to be able to see the general area from further down the road as I go. This road that I'm on, but down there, what you can see, that is the main Nairobi Kangundo road, and to the end you can see some water. Let me see if I can zoom that. That is the Nairobi sewage plant, which is quite it's so sad that we are residents of Ruai. We are the ones who are closest to Nairobi's biggest sewage dam, but we don't have sewage services yet. Yes, so that is the sprawling Kasarani Ruai road. So I'm going to go further ahead and then show you a bit more of what you can see my house. This part of town is very rocky. You can see the structure. Okay, maybe I have zoomed. You can see the structure is very rocky. This is so here it's very problematic even to build toilets, to dig graves, because it's all very sandy. But when you're constructing, the upside of it is that you don't need a very deep foundation, unlike us who are in clay soil, and we have to dig a deep foundation until we find where there's hardcore. That's a difference now of the makeup of the soil and the ground. Yeah, this is all rocky, and you see, like I told you, there's a lot of development here. Unlike further down where I am at, here there's a lot of development. There are commercial buildings every side, but I'm going further ahead to get a vantage point where you can see better. See all this rocks. Everywhere you look, it's just all rock. And because of the elevation of the ground, the foundation has to be quite high, unless the person has put lower flats, which I don't think. You just have to elevate the house to make sure the different levels of houses are at par. I think this is the entrance. It's a very big where I am, so I'm not able to go further, but that's the view. That's around the direction where I live. Where there's the mast right ahead, thereabouts. That's where I live, that's where I'm headed. So I'm just going to stop here and then find my way out of here. In Ruai or on the Kangundo road or other parts of the country, and you see such wide pits, like this one stretches from here, goes deep and goes all the way to the other side. You just know that, and then you see there's that mound that I think has a beacon, and this one that has an electric pole. These have just been isolated and left. So all the rest of the field here to where the embankments are on that side, and then or here along this side, because here is road, then the depth goes further in here. These are excavations that were made so that they could road construction, while it was taking place for the main road, they could harvest maram. Maram is the the soil that has a lot of rock particles in it, which is very detrimental in constructing roads. So this area was excavated so that they could harvest maram from it. So let me zoom in so that you can see what I told you, that this place is very rocky. If you look at that area, you see that area, it's all rocky sediment. Yeah, the sparse grass that is growing here is also growing among the rocks, so it doesn't grow very thick and it doesn't grow very big, because there's hardly any soil to nurture big crops. Just thought you should know. This is what I mean when I say harvesting of the maram. You see that mound over there? This is now coarse maram, which doesn't have a lot of stone, and this is maram that includes that is very rocky. This is what we fill in our foundations because before we can put on the slab to start building in this area of town, because we have clay soil, because this is so rocky. So most of the excavations that are very huge were utilized for building this road all the way up to Kangundo, and on the other side for as far as, I think the next site where they do excavation is a place called Mwiki, which is in the next ward but within Kasarani. That's proof of the rock structure that there is, and when it becomes looser like this, now this is normally the maram that we buy. The hard ones, these might be used for other bits, but they are so heavy even to carry in trucks. They are mainly used for road construction. When we are building homes, this one is the one that we use, the one which is more cost. We get lorry loads of it, and then we use for filling within the foundation before we start building. To get home, and I'm finding that there's a crusade outside my house, so this is going to be, I can't listen to anything for most of the night until they pack off at around 7 to 8 o'clock. So yeah, that's going to be my Sunday. At least I've got to see, I'm getting home when it's still daylight. I have to be so careful, and from a distance I just have to check that what's happening. So yeah, that's the evening for today. So I've arrived home and freshened up, and the stuff that I had gone to do in the church, I need some help from some small church community members, namely our moderator, that is the chairman in Catholic terms of a small church community. In Kiswahili we call it Jumuiya. So I'm rushing to their place. They just live within the same estate, and then I come back and take a rest. The crusade is still going on. Like I said, it normally ends at around 7:30 or so. So I anticipate it's still going to go on for a while. Yeah, it's been a busy day. I'm looking forward to rest. So let me go and finish this, what I have to do, and then come back. Thank you again for staying on the channel. Thank you for supporting me. I appreciate so much. Please like and subscribe to support the channel. Leave your comments and share to friends. If you know me, please leave a comment down below where we know one another from, and let's look up how we can reconnect. God bless you. I tell you people, when I tell you that Ruai weather is so fantastic, believe me it is. Because why is it that I've had a cold shower? It's coming to 5:36. It's after 6, and I'm not feeling cold. And the sunset glow, you can see the sunset glow in the background. Yeah, but it's not cold. It's the air is just cool. I mean, I'm only wearing a sweater because I'm wearing a dress that I didn't put a lot inside, and it can be a bit see-through. So I've wrapped at the bottom, and then on top I've put a sweater. But how nice is this? What I keep on saying, that if you have elderly people who you live with, or if you yourself are an elderly person or above 50 or so, or 60, this is the place to be. This weather is just so beautiful. The environment is so nice. The air is so fresh. Am I selling Ruai too much? Yes, I love it that much. Yeah, you're welcome. Hello, good morning, and how are you? Welcome. My name is Josephine. I'm Kenyan, and I'm presenting my show from a place called Ruai on the outskirts of Nairobi. For my returning subscribers and viewers, I say Karibuni, and thank you very much for the continued support. Today is Saturday, and I'm going to be with my sisters and my aunties and cousins for what we call a family chama. A chama is a gathering of people where you save together, you invest together, you do financial progress together, but you also visit one another, you cook together, you have visits to each other's house. It's a merry-go-round of visitations and financial decisions, and then discussions of family issues. It's an early bright morning. It's a bit cool, of course, because it's early in the morning, and because I'm going across town, I'm leaving early so that I may be on time. Well, my channel is about my life. My life is a different kind of ordinary. I'm very ordinary, but some things I do a bit differently. So I welcome you all to walk with me. Let me give you a view of today's sky. It's all clear blue. Yes, that's a 360-degree view, and you can see that it's all clear. So I'm very glad. And also the way I'm dressed, it's a smart casual, and this is good enough for this weather. I'm in Southlands, Langata. This is a very different place from our place. You know, our place is all empty roads, very little development, just single houses here and there. This is different. This is all commercial, buildings everywhere, residential homes everywhere. Every street is full of people. Sometimes it feels so nice coming to these kind of different places for a change. And then here people don't sleep. It's not like our place where at 8:30 then you know that the roads are shut, it's already dark, you can't see anything. Here the street lights are on all the time. The people are on the road. In fact, at night it's even busier than in the morning, because there are bars, there are restaurants, there are small snack shops, there's snacks being sold on the street, there are people going different places, there are people arriving from work. So it's a different kind of living. It's the life I had before when I was living in a flat, but I enjoy it. I enjoy when I come this side for a change. And these are the kind of differences that it's good for our children to have, to experience both lives, to be able to experience this life of living in the city, which is busy, very busy, and then again to also experience living in the rural, where the life is much quieter, the homes are fewer and people are fewer. So welcome. I'm going to see whether I can be able to shoot for you the video when we are in Chama, but that will be determined by when I reach. Keep on watching. Please remember to like and to subscribe, and thanks for watching. Going up. Almost there. So I finished what I was doing, and now I'm going to take a slow trek going towards home. And then I go and get a matatu and I go home and have a rest. It has been a good day. It was an afternoon in church. We learned so much. And I'm so glad. I mean, whenever you're in the presence of the Lord, and whenever you have priests standing before you and giving you such helpful spiritual guidance, it just reawakens, refreshes. You know, I felt so guilty when we were told some of you have gone back. You have like backslided against going to church, and I'm like, oh yeah. And you are asked about particular days of the church. Have you done this? I haven't. I'm so guilty. I'm guilty. But again, we serve a forgiving God. And the goodness is that we have a parish priest who is also so fatherly. So fatherly. So he's encouraging. In every way, he's encouraging. Some of you have not done this, but it doesn't matter. You've not joined a jumuiya, but you're welcome. You know, we had one of the seminarians also there teaching us in the seminar we had, and not even him. He was also as guiding and as fatherly as possible. So it's so nice when you keep on getting good word from the church leaders, that no matter how much your sins are, no matter how much you've transgressed, no matter how much you've gone back on what you're supposed to do, your giving to the church, your contribution to the church, your participation in the church, God is still there. He still has his arms wide open. Jesus Christ is still your savior. You know, you're still in the brotherhood of church. You're still the child of God. You're still the member who is a partner in receiving of the gifts of God. You know, faith, love, hope. So I feel so encouraged. Like I said, yes, I think last Sunday I was in church, but it's been quite a while. I've not been going to church. I have my own reasons. But again, when I come in the presence of the men of God and the church leaders who are in such a welcoming mood and who are making it so open that no matter what it is you do, it is not us who are judging you, but it is between you and your Christ, and we encourage you to do the good thing. I feel very encouraged. So I'm going to close the video here. Thank you very much. Welcome you to again subscribe, to like, and to keep on commenting if it is commenting, share if it is possible. And right here from Ruai, from St. Peter's Ruai Catholic Church and Nairobi, Kenya, I say goodbye and thank you for supporting the channel.